Unsightly Opinions. If you're new here, I'm Tamara, and today we're going to be talking about 5 different nail polish techniques that you can use for some fun fall looks. Something you should know in advance, I have never done this before, so this could be a disaster or could be delightful. If I can do it, you can too, because I can't even see my nails. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a base coat.
A base coat helps prevent staining on your nails when you're using bright colors. Today I'm using Holo Taco's long-lasting base, and I'm putting a thin coat on each one of my fingers.
Now I'm going to try a new product for me, and I'm going to go all the way around my nails with Simply Peel.
Protective Peel is a liquid latex-based product that you paint around your nails, creating a barrier to make cleanup easier when you're doing nail art. It might be a good option for visually impaired and blind folks for regular nail painting because it doesn't matter if you go off the edge of your nail. The protective peel will keep the nail polish off your skin, therefore making cleanup easier. This is the first time I was using this product, and I thought it was going really well until disaster struck.
I lean in and I just watch it all happen. It's like, you might have got some there that time. Just a little bit.
I missed entirely!
Step right down the middle.
Now that you've learned my secret bird call, I cleaned the latex off my nail and was able to continue. When wet, latex does not take any nail polish already dried to your nails off, so you can just wipe it off with a cotton round and continue. Just don't touch your fingers together, it will stick to itself.
My first look is going to be a copper gradient. So I'm going to have copper as my undertone, and then at the base of my nail, I'm going to have a holographic copper gradient, hopefully transitioning back into the undertone that I put on. I'm going to start by applying this copper Sally Hansen Extreme Wear polish, and then we'll go from there. We're gonna let that dry for a moment, and then I'll go in for coat 2. Because I can't actually see my nails, I am going to do 2 coats just to make sure I've got a nice full coverage. I was just informed that we are missing the footage for me actually painting this nail. Please trust that I did that. Normally when you're going to do a 2-color gradient, you take your base color and your gradient color on top and you blend them on the makeup sponge and dab it on. But I don't think that if you blend a satin finish polish with a holographic, it will end very nicely. I have a feeling when they mix, it'll just cause the holographic to be covered in satin polish. So I'm just going to dab the holographic polish on one end of this makeup sponge, and then I'm going to dab it upside down onto the back side closest to my cuticle on my nail.
I put a lot of nail polish on half of the sponge as most of the liquid is absorbed and we want lots of sparkles. As I dabbed the sponge on my thumb, I thought I may have missed most of my nail, so I decided to do a second coat, although I'm not sure it's necessarily necessary if you get a good dab the first time out.
When this is dry, next I'm going to apply a scattered hollow top coat so that it brings a lot of the sheen from our copper holographic polish back up.
I'm adding an extra layer of sparkle to make sure that my gradient is blended perfectly.
On to our next look. We are going to try a dotacure. So I've got this beautiful iridescent pearlescent shade here. I believe it's a Sinful Colors, and I'm going to start that as our base color, and then I'm going to have red, green, and orange iridescent dots to kind of give you that fall leaf look. Hopefully it looks how I imagine it.
Here I'm applying 2 coats of my pearlescent polish to make sure I get good coverage.
It's not entirely dry, but I'm hoping it's dry enough. Now these are stamping polishes that I have right here in red, orange, and yellow iridescent shades, and they actually have a dotting tool built right into them, which is why I bought them. So I'm hoping that these work well, and if I just give them a tiny squeeze and touch them to my nail, that we're gonna get nice dots everywhere. Now, the challenge is going to be trying not to overlap dots or put them too close to each other so we get a nice scattered dotty effect. So I'm just gonna start by dotting the back of my hand a couple times just to make sure that stuff is coming out. And then I'm gonna come into my nail and just apply some dots in random spots.
I repeated the process of adding dots in random areas on my fingernail with my other two colors.
For our next look, we're going to try and do a plaid nail. So I've chosen that I really like this first one here in the corner, and we're going to have black and yellow plaid.
I hope to achieve my plaid nails by using a stamping pad. Here I'm applying one coat of One Coat Black by Holo Taco.
So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I've got my stamp out here and I've got my pad, and I'm going to wipe both of those down with some acetone just to make sure I don't have any finger oil or anything else on there that's going to prevent me from getting a nice clean stamp. What I understand is you need to put the polish just on the edge of the stamp that you want to use and then swipe it across rather quickly with any kind of a card. I'm using my expired gym membership.
Here I'm applying a very thick line of yellow stamping polish to the edge of the pad. I am swiping it with my card, then rolling the stamp across the pad, and then rolling the stamp across my nail to apply the pattern.
For this next nail look, I'm going to try some acrylic paint scratch-off nails. I have some acrylic craft paint from the dollar store, and I'm going to be scratching off a pattern into my nails with a cool color combination underneath. So I'm going to come back in with a new makeup sponge, and I'm going to put on these beautiful fall colors, yellow, orange, and red, and then we're going to kind of dab them on the nails, hopefully kind of creating a lovely blend.
I assigned each one of my colors a third of my makeup sponge. When I had a significant amount of polish applied, I turned it over and dabbed it on my nail. I suggest doing 2 coats of polish here, as mine was not as opaque as one would hope.
While we wait for this one to dry, because I did stick a fair amount of polish there, I'm going to actually get started on my last nail. And my last nail, we're going to be doing a newsprint nail.
Here I'm applying 2 coats of a very bright shiny copper color to my nail.
So I'm going to come back in with some acrylic craft paint now, and this is just regular old dollar store craft paint.
While waiting for my 5th finger to dry, I went back to my 4th finger and applied a thick coat of black craft paint.
We're going to go back in and do our newsprint nail. Which side has the print on it?
That side.
This side? So we're just going to dunk it in some water for a few seconds and then firmly press it to our nail for about 10 seconds. And I'm kind of rolling it just a little bit to give it nice, consistent pressure. And then I just very slowly peel it away.
This is supposed to transfer black lettering to your nails.
I'm going back in with this hand and I'm going to gently scrape off the craft paint, hopefully revealing the beautiful polish underneath. I'm just going to try and do some diffuse lines.
On my 4th finger, I'm using a toothpick to scrape off the craft paint in straight lines.
The newsprint does take a little bit of trial and error. Make sure that your nail is fully dry before you do that, and make sure you're using cold water instead of warm. Just to finish off these looks, I am going to go over top of some of these with a Holo Taco and then finish all of them off with a Glossy Taco. Take the Simply Peel off and see where we're at. Before we do our final reveal here, I want to give you my final thoughts. This was so much fun. Whether it looks good or not, I had a good time doing it. Simply Peel is probably one of my favorite products. If you have never used liquid latex when you're painting your nails, oh my goodness, it is a game changer. My cleanup took maybe 5 minutes. I probably didn't have to do half the cleanup I thought I did just because it's force of habit for me to go around my nails with a cleanup brush. Win or fail, I had a lot of fun doing these today, and it's time for a final grand reveal.
My thumb with the pale holographic copper gradient turned out pretty well. I think gradients are one of the most accessible nail techniques to try if you're blind or low vision. The dotticure on my pointer nail isn't perfect and I do have some dots overlapping each other, but I'm told it does create a really cool pattern. On the plaid nail, the stamp transferred really well, although I did aim poorly and missed stamping the end of my nail. The sparkly top coat also covered up some of the detail, so something to try different next time. The scratch-off nails didn't work as I hoped. I forgot to add a top coat before applying the craft paint and ended up scratching off a lot of the color from underneath. I am told that the lines look like tree bark, which is pretty neat. Newsprint nails are supposed to be easy. I had a really tough time. 3 attempts and you still can't see lettering on my nails. 0 to 10 on these.
I hope you enjoyed today. I had a lot of fun painting my nails. Mistakes were made for sure, but it's something that I want to try again because I think practice is going to make perfect when it comes to these kinds of techniques. I really enjoyed making this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. If you'd like to watch more videos, there are plenty on my channel and more coming all the time. I post every Wednesday. If you enjoyed this, please hit those bells and buttons down below. You know what to do. It really helps a small channel grow. If you need more content with me, you can check out all my social media linked down below. To Unsightly
and my Twitch
streams,
streams,
which are every Tuesday now and Friday at 17 Mountain Standard. Thank you for the tap dancing in the background. We need to get our floors fixed.
This one wasn't running.
What do you mean it wasn't running?
It's not on. Sorry. This one's running.